Okay, hello again, everyone. So Lar from Complete Test Success back with you, and we have another live stream focusing on IELTS Writing Task 2. So the way that I've kind of envisaged your IELTS preparation is I've made a set of lessons about how to write a Task 2 essay. So basically everything you need to know about Task 2. So how I imagine your preparation going is that you will complete those lessons so you understand what to do, and then you will come to these live streams so that you get feedback and understand if you're doing it correctly. So that's kind of the way that I have organized this channel, this page. So let me share those lessons. I know a lot of you come here regularly and you've probably done them all already, probably more than once for some people. But that said, if you're new, that is kind of the approach that you should be taking. That doesn't mean that you're not welcome to join right now. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't be here. Just in general, complete those lessons, understand what you need to do, come here, get feedback. Hi, Sandeep, or Kamal, as you're also known. And Mo, I'm sorry, I can never say your name properly. Mohaminul. Mohaminul, you were signing up for the live feedback lessons. Did you get in there okay? Were you able to sign up? Hi, Salvi. Sarah, your first time. I was about to say that. I didn't recognize the name. And Ayush is here. Hi, Ayush. Okay. So as always, we'll get started. Can you just quickly tell me the document that I moved it around a bit? I made it wider than normal because I thought I might be able to get more text on the screen. Can you all see that clearly? Hey, Lita. Good to see you here. Okay, for now, I'm going to assume that you can see it. If you can't, just let me know in the comments and I'll be able to rearrange it. But I think from where I'm looking, it seems okay. Mohaimanul, thank you. Thanks for the feedback. Okay, so let's start with the paraphrase. Just in case you're not 100% clear, the paraphrase is you rewrite this in your own words. So please go ahead, write the paraphrase for me. Post your paraphrase in the comments. I'll put it up on screen and then I will give you feedback on what you've written. Thank you, Ayush. Thank you, Sandeep. Kamal. Okay, so I'll let you get started with that. As soon as you're ready, post it in the comments and we'll start with your feedback. Arif, I can do that. And when I meet you in the live feedback lessons, you can teach me how to say your name properly. It's a new one for me, so I'm pretty confident my attempts are poor. But Arif, I can do that for now. Thanks, Arif. Arif, maybe I think you've been nice, but thanks anyway. Sandy, good to see you back here. Haven't seen you in a while. Okay, so if you have not finished your paraphrase, just continue. I'm going to start giving feedback to the students who've shared theirs with me already. Josephine is the first in. People are of the opinion that government should sponsor their educational services. Now, there are punctuation mistakes. So people should be a capital P and you have no full stop at the end. So take a note of this. These are the things you need to work on. Plural mistake, because the question said governments, not government. If it was one government, we would normally refer, if we're talking about your country, we would talk about the government because it's the government of your country. It's specific. So that's either an article mistake or a plural mistake, but it's still a grammar mistake. So punctuation and I would say plurals are the way articles and plurals are used together. That's another area. And the word sponsor is different to invest. So sponsor is doesn't have the same meaning. Besides that, everything else is fine. And I do understand what you mean. Sponsor, using the wrong word, sponsor, instead of invest is actually the biggest issue because it just doesn't have the same meaning. With the grammar mistakes, there are things that you need to work on, but it doesn't stop me from understanding your sentence. So it's the vocab mistake is the main one. Kamal, there is a belief that governments should invest more money in their education systems. Good. Invest more money in their education systems. Governments. Now, this is kind of I'm always saying, don't worry if you need to copy a word from the question. So I'm constantly saying this because students are so far to the side that they're afraid to use any words from the question, and they're not communicating clearly. So for example, if we look at Josephine's here, where she used sponsor, probably because she didn't want to use the word invest. But in this case, if she had used the word sponsor, if she'd used the word invest from the question, that would have made her paraphrase much better. So there are cases where, if you don't have a synonym, use the word in the question. But this has gone too far to the other side with Kamal's, because it's not just copying words from the question, it's pretty much copying most of the question. And that's not what a paraphrase should be. So what we have here is all of this. If I'm correct, maybe let me double check that governments should invest more money in their education. Yeah, so that's too much. So when you're paraphrasing, you need to write it in your own words. That's important, but don't go to there. You have to be somewhere in the middle. You have to paraphrase it. You can't copy it, but you shouldn't be afraid of taking a word from the question. But you don't want to you don't want to rewrite the question. It doesn't show that you understood the question at all. Like I say, if you gave me, if you gave me a sentence in German, which I don't speak, I could copy it. So it doesn't show any language ability. So you need to avoid the long stretches of copying long stretches like that, Kamal. Ayush, numerous is not the same as many. It's a different meaning. Numerous would be more close to like several. So those aren't synonyms. Numerous individuals are of the opinion that investment in education systems should be increased by respective governments. Yeah, good. You misspelled governments and the word numerous is wrong. But besides that, good. Sandy, a great number of individuals claim that authorities ought to spend more of their budgets on their education systems. So you've just missed the word of. Everything else is perfect. Hi, Maha. Good to see you here. Good to see you back. Ina. Thank you. That's nice to hear. Peculiar. Hello to you as well. Welcome to the lesson. Oh, we're all missing you in the Zoom classes too, Sandy. For sure. But you got to work. That's fine. Sarwa, a lot of people think that governments should spend a lot of money in the education system. Now, governments should be plural. And then it didn't say a lot of money, it said more money. So it's not saying it's a lot. A lot is more like your opinion on the amount of money, but they're just saying more than they already spend. So, let's say, for example, I don't know how much money, what percentage of budgets are put into the education system, but let's say that the government of your country spends 5% of their budget on the education system. People think that they should increase it to 6% or 7%. So it's not saying that they should spend a lot. The meaning is different when we say it that way. Josephine, very, very welcome. No problem at all. Arif, you need a capital P for plenty. The sentence always starts with a capital letter. So plenty of people consider that the state need more investment on educational purpose. You're gone too far the side where you're trying to change too much. Educational purpose wouldn't necessarily. It just does. It doesn't collocate. It doesn't have the same meaning. The state is a good way of saying it, but states, again, it has to be plural because governments is plural. We're talking about what we know, the way the question is phrased, it's many people believe that governments, so we're not just talking about one country, but many countries, the governments of many countries, need more investment. And what that means is not necessarily that they're spending the taxpayers' money, they're not using the country's money, it's that they're finding other people. So if you would say like they need more investment, that might be that they go out to local companies and they say, can you help us, can you donate money to your local schools, things like that. So it's not that they're using the money they have, it's that they're finding more sources of money for the education system. The way you've written it, it has that meaning. So that doesn't work out quite right. Nishani, most of the people, it doesn't say most, it says many, and many and most are not the same. So many just means it's not a small group. So let's say a big group of people. That's not an accurate paraphrase. I'm just trying to make it easy to understand. So they're just saying, it's a big group of people. We're saying many, but most is, more than half. So that's a different meaning. Most of the people, and then your grammar is wrong here, would be are concerned about governments should. So your structure, your sentence structure, you definitely need to work on, Nishani. So what's just consider what's the subject, what's the verb, what's the object. Are you clear on that? Or maybe you think that concern can be used as a verb in this way? It doesn't work like that. We would use are, like to be concerned, like with concerned as an adjective. So maybe that's the mistake, just the way you're using concern. Reserve huge capital. Again, it doesn't say the size. It's just saying that it should be larger than it is now. Come in their educational services. Good. Lida, a lot of people think that governments ought to allocate more funds on the education systems of their countries. Countries should be plural. Everything else is good. Lida, you're after making massive improvements since you start studying with me. Just the accuracy of your language is so much better. I mean, it's just obvious how hard you've been working. That's like, I'm not trying to criticize your level when you came here. I could always understand you, but the level of accuracy has improved so quickly. It's really admirable. Well done. Samika, hello to you. Good morning. Although it's nighttime for me, but the sentiment is the same. Okay, so I just want to focus, Salvi, you're just getting ahead of me a little bit. I just want to focus on the paraphrases so we're all on the same part. So let's just look at your paraphrase here. Some people think that governments should spend more money on education system, on the education systems, or on education systems, or on education would be okay. Can I use a lot in place of numerous? Yep, that'd be fine, Ayush. That'd be perfect. It is believed by many people that governments ought to invest huge amounts should be plural, of money in their schooling systems. Oh, yeah, that's good. Maha, yeah, well done. Prasanna, several means some, like a few. It doesn't mean many, so that's not an appropriate word. Several individuals opine that governments should be plural, should spend more money on their academic systems. Yeah, good. Ranjana, good to see you again. A large number of people claim that individual governments should spend more money on education. Good. Maravik, put a budgets for... No, because they would already have a budget. It's that they should increase their budgets. And Big B, it is a common belief that plenty of money should be invested in education systems by governments. Okay, so it seems the main issues are people paraphrasing the word many incorrectly, and then, like Big B has here, and about half of the students' answers saying they should invest a lot or plenty or huge amounts of money. That, again, your paraphrase must have the exact same meaning as the question statement. The question statement says more money. It doesn't say a lot. It doesn't say big, huge, plenty. It just says more. So that means compared to now, a higher amount than is already being spent. So, you have to communicate the same idea. And more than anything, don't sacrifice clarity. Don't reduce clarity. Don't take risks. The main thing is it has the exact same meaning. That's really, really what you're aiming for. So overall, quite clear, but just some small mistakes. I've told you your mistakes. You know what to work on. Okay, Samika, I see yours, but I'm just going to move on to the next part of the lesson, and I'll come back to you in a moment. Okay, so paraphrase the question. The next part is the outline statement. So can you just write a full outline statement rather than just giving me the main ideas? Give me the full outline statement, okay? And then again, I'll give you feedback. So full outline statements from start to finish. And again, send them to me in the comments. Samika, a large amount of people believe that greater investment should be made in their education by governments. So it's not necessarily their education. When we talk about their education, we're talking about the people who are in the education system. So it's when you write it that way, it would mean that the people you're talking about are students. So it's not a large amount of people, that those people are students because in their education, the way you've written that. Besides that, that's good. States should provide more money. Sorry, let me pull up the question here. Should provide more money than it currently uses to provide. Is suspected by plenty. Suspected is like it has a different meaning as well, Arif. So suspect is more something I believe, but I don't have proof. So I suspect that I was not saying your name correctly, but you just said I was because you were being nice. Now, maybe I did say your name correctly. I don't really know, but I suspect that you just said that to be nice to me. So there, that's suspect, so that doesn't work. Okay. Good. I see that, Samika. Yeah, that makes sense. That's correct. The investments. Okay, so that was Sandy's paraphrase, if you're just wondering what I'm doing on screen. So we have the question and our paraphrase there. And now we are focused on the outline statement. Okay, so like before, if you're not finished, just continue, but I'm going to give feedback to those who have already posted. Salvi, some people, okay, I strongly agree, good. So the fact that the question said to what extent, you have to say the extent. So Salvi has said strongly, that's good. I strongly agree with the given notion. That's not a great choice of words there, Salvi. With this, I strongly agree with this would have been fine, because investing in the school system would make, so again, it should be investing more in the school system would make a lot of competent individuals as manpower. I understand your idea, but the vocabulary you've used and the collocations aren't clear here, Salvi. And it would help fight against the illiteracy problem. Yeah, both those ideas are specific and relevant, just some vocab issues in here, Salvi. So particularly notion, this competent individuals as manpower, that's not, I understand it, but it's not clear. Against the illiteracy problem. Yes, that's fine. But in relation to, the appropriateness of your main ideas, they're both specific, they're both relevant. That's all you need. So your ideas are good. So that's putting you into a band 6 for task achievement already before you've even finished the introduction. So that's good. Sandeep, I completely agree, because education has a vital role in the development of a country and an important impact on individuals' life. The first one is too vague. It has a vital role. Well, what is that role? You need to tell me what that role is. And an important impact on individuals. And again, that they're both too vague. So they're both relevant. That's good. But you need to be able to recognize if it's a vague idea or if it's a specific idea. They both need to be specific. So it has a vital role. I don't know what role that is, and then when you try to explain it, and this is what you need to do for yourself, is consider how are you going to explain, and you'll probably think of 2 or 3 specific ideas when you try to explain that vague idea. That's what will happen. So think about how you'll explain it. That will lead you to specific ideas, and you could use one of those. Same applies for the second one. So what is the important impact? Also consider, it's not just that the government should have an education system, it's that they should invest more money in the education system. So obviously education already has a vital role and it already has an impact, but are you just going to talk about how great the education system is, or are you going to talk about why the education system should have more money spent to improve it. So keep that in mind as well. The question isn't just saying what's good about the education system. It's saying why should more money be spent on the education system. So why is it necessary, or what extra value would come from it? Sushma, it's always a debatable issue. Don't write that. That you could put that in absolutely every essay. It doesn't show any. It's got nothing to do with the context of the question. So it's always a debatable issue. Remove that. A set of people know that vocab isn't right. Just say a lot of people, a large number of people believe that governments must provide a higher budget to education systems, whereas others hold an opinion not to invest much. No, it doesn't say that there's another group of people who disagree. So only there will be questions. So if it's a discuss both views and give your own opinion, it'll have two. It'll outline the two groups of people, because that's the discuss both views. This is just one view, and in your paraphrase, you should just include the actual view that's in the question. Don't add in anything extra. Don't change anything. And then at the end, I agree with the former view, but that's not how I would like you to write an outline statement. So Sushma, just based on that, I would say that you may not have completed the task 2 lessons. At the very start of this live stream, I shared these links with you. And those basically outline, everything you need to know about how to write an essay. And just there are mistakes you're making that you could definitely avoid, and it would help your score a lot to just complete those lessons. In total, there are only 3 hours worth of videos, and you'll have a very good understanding of how to construct the essay. Firstly, providing more funds to education departments reduces illiteracy. Good. That idea is appropriate. I completely agree with this idea, as it helps countries to reduce crime rates. Good. And get foreign remittance by employing these educated people. So you'd have to say, would it be more, Ranjana? When we're talking about remittance, is it going to be that currently there is none and there will be some, or is it currently there is some and there will be more? So remember, we're putting more money into the education system. So how is that going to change things? So the way you've written it, it sounds like there's none at the moment, which might be fine as long as that's what's explained in your paragraphs later on. But in general, I would say, I'm far from an economist. I don't know these types of things, but I would say surely there are foreign, I just feel like that exists in all countries already. So maybe I'm wrong. So you would need to say more. Josephine, most people are of the opinion that governments, again plural, should spend more on their educational systems, plural again. So you're making plural mistakes there, Josephine. I'm in favor of this statement. It's not a statement, it's a belief or a view. So I'm in favor of this view, but it's not in favor. You're more in favor of doing something. So you could say I'm in favor of this, and this would be investing more money. Or I agree with this statement. Yeah, that's where we're gone wrong. So I agree with this statement, or I'm in favor of this. As education is the basis in life, and it also develops a nation. So again, are you talking about the importance of education, or are you talking why the education needs more money? It sounds like you're just talking about why education is good. So you need to be careful with that. It's specifically there should be more money spent on education. So this isn't about what's good about education. It's about why why the education system needs more money or the benefits of investing more money in the education system. So either side would be fine. Sandy, I'm completely in favor of this belief. Oh, that's the exact same mistake that is that the same mistake Josephine just made? In favor of this statement, in favor of this belief. No. So I'm in favor of this. You're in favor of the action that's being taken. So I'm in favor of the government's investing more money in the education systems. So you're not in favor of a belief. You're in favor of doing something, because governments will be able to lower the number of illiterate individuals. Good, and their national economic power is more likely to be stronger thanks to their well-educated individuals. Good. Yep. You don't really. It's not a problem. You don't need to explain that idea. So that thanks to their well-educated individuals, it's not bringing down your score. It's very clear. That's fine, but not completely necessary. But no, that's well written. Muazzam, good to see you here. And Lida, I completely agree with this statement because schools will have better facilities and teachers will be more motivated to teach. Good. Ayush, I completely agree with this statement because it will improve the literacy rate of the nations and educated individuals would be able to find work rather easily, which in turn would bring down unemployment rates. Ayush. Hi, Jervin. Good to see you here. Okay, so what we're looking at here, just think, we need more money, right? The education system needs more money. So it's that either means there's a problem with the education system. So the buildings are too old, the equipment is too old, there isn't enough equipment. I don't know, the classrooms are too hot, the classrooms are too cold, there isn't enough training for the teachers, the syllabus is outdated, it's whatever, there's a problem, so extra money will fix that problem. That's one way that you could show that we need more money. Or the other side is the benefits that will come from it. So reduced unemployment rates, as Ayush just said, or reducing illiteracy rates. There will be better facilities. The teachers will be more motivated. So you can come at it from either side. You can come at it from fixing an existing problem or creating a positive outcome. Either way is fine. But it has to be about what the extra money does, not about what education does. So just be very careful. You absolutely have to write within the context of the question. It's absolutely vital. So let me just go to Ayush's here. I'm going to try something that I usually do in my live feedback lessons, but I haven't tried in this yet. Actually, give me a second. I'm talking. I'm talking to myself. Let me just get this up first. Okay, so here's our paraphrase. I completely agree with this because it will improve the literacy rate of the nations and educated individuals would be able to find work rather easily, which in turn would bring down unemployment. Okay, so I'm just going to do and it would reduce unemployment rates. Okay. So that's Ayush's outline, and that's a full introduction that we have here. So we have our paraphrase, we have our outline statement. So the first one, it will improve the literacy rate. So if you're on Facebook, I'll color it blue. Ooh, that's a bit dark. Maybe you can't see that. There's a lighter blue. Okay. If you are on Facebook, I want you to write the body paragraph for this. So how will you develop this idea? And if you're on YouTube, I want you to do this one. So red for YouTube, blue for Facebook. I guess that kind of makes sense. So can you write, how would you develop these ideas? How would you develop these ideas? There we go. Okay, so if you're on Facebook, it seems like we have like an equal kind of number of people on Facebook and YouTube today, which makes it easier to do this. So if you're on Facebook, write the body paragraph about it will improve the literacy rates. If you're on YouTube, write the body paragraph about how it would reduce unemployment rates. Put that into the comments, and again, I'll have feedback for you. Hi, Jervin. I'm back to your message again, but good to see you here. Wizam, love from PK. Thank you very much. And Arif, so this is the outline statement. I strongly believe with this statement, investing more money can be the reason of development of many institutions. A bit vague. So why do we need to develop them, or what's the benefit of developing them? So you need to be more specific as to what the actual benefit of that is. So that idea is too vague. And by the uses of funds, those schools can provide more facilities to students. Again, that's also too vague. So what facility are you actually, you need to focus in on one specific facility, or it might be, what are the benefits of those facilities? So, you know, like we're talking about reducing unemployment rates, attracting foreign investment, that type of stuff. Just looking at that color red, that's a little bit difficult to see on screen. Let me make that a bit lighter. That should be easier to see, I think. Okay. And Kulwant is here. Hey, Kulwant. It is believed by many individuals that more money should be invested on education by authorities. More money should be invested on education by the authorities. Good. Yes, good. Good job, Kulwant. Reef. Okay, sorry, I already gave you feedback. Yes. I just got mixed up that, you know, I'm going down through the comments. I didn't see that one at the time. Okay. While you're writing those paragraphs, let me just explain what else I have going on at the moment. In yesterday's live stream, I did a full essay correction for a MAD. At the end of that video, I showed another question for next week's competition. So if you want to get involved in that, next Wednesday, I'll choose a winner, take the full essay they've written, and do a full essay correction. So that's the scores for the 4 band scores, the overall band score, correct all the vocab and the grammar, and advice on all those mistakes. So that's on that's at the end of the video from yesterday, and I'll post the question again on Sunday, just in case you didn't see it already. I also have, let me share the links for you here. I have my live feedback lessons. So those are my free lessons that we do on Zoom. Those are for task 1, task 2, and speaking. So those are free group classes. and I also have one-on-one services, which I just started this week. So I'll share the link. So I've got free live feedback lessons, free group classes on Zoom, and one-on-one feedback service that I just started. So that's the link to access those. And then, of course, I have my I'm continuing doing these live streams. So live stream on Tuesday for speaking. Wednesday is the essay competition winner, and the one that you're in now on Thursdays. However, a few people were saying to me, a few people have said kind of over the last few weeks or so, that they were asking if I could do a live stream for Academic Task 1, and I was hesitant. I thought the software would be a bit difficult, but I was looking into it a bit today, and I think I might do that. So it kind of depends on how popular they are or how well the lessons go. But I was thinking of adding an extra live stream so that I do task 1 as well. But that just kind of depends on A, does anybody want it, and B, if I can figure out the technology to do it well. I don't want to do a rubbish lesson. You know, if I come on and do task 1 and I can't get the technology right, and you're just sitting there looking at me struggling, you know, that's no good for anybody. So that's what I was thinking. But for Academic Task 1, like I said, I have like feedback, one-on-one feedback service. I have the free live feedback lessons. So, you know, even if they don't go well, I still have other ways of helping you with that. Okay. Arif, investing more money can be the reason of development of many institutions, as we see mostly in the Asian region. And by the use of funds, these schools can provide more facilities to students. Still too vague, I'm afraid, Arif. Kulwant, money spent that has to be passed, money spent on education will reduce unemployment. So we're looking at body paragraph 1. Oh, you're on YouTube, excuse me. Body paragraph 2, reduce unemployment. Okay. Money spent on education will reduce unemployment. This is because more people will get jobs, which they will get after completing their academics, completing their academic studies. With the help of these jobs, people will be able to make their dreams come true. No. So you have to stay focused. You have to stay focused on unemployment. So you said you're going to talk about unemployment. So you're not going to talk about the benefits of having a job. You're going to talk about that one benefit of investing more money in the education system. That one benefit that we have identified is unemployment. So the full body paragraph has to be about unemployment, about how more money in the education system creates less unemployment. So linking those two ideas together, explaining how that happens or why that happens. So if your government puts another, 5% of the budget into the education system, the outcome of that is more people have work. How does that happen? How does A connect to B? So that's what you need to explain. You need to stay talking about that, and you need to give an example of, in such and such in my country, the government introduced, a scheme where they had more money being invested in primary schools, and this resulted in more people getting into secondary school, something like that. But an example of it actually happening. But here you're gone on to talk about, the benefit of having a job. It's not. We don't need the benefit of having a job. We need the benefit of investing money in the education system. And you've already said what that is. For example, in Canada, improved education system has boosted the employment rate by 25% in the recent years. Okay, so you've gone back on point. I thought you were gone off completely. So that's that one sentence about their dreams coming true. That's irrelevant. The rest of it's fine. How did Canada improve their education system? Did they improve the education system by investing more money, or did they do something else? You would have to connect it back to the context of the question. Now, I mean, we could assume that that's why, but you shouldn't. You don't want the examiner to have to make any assumptions. You're the one giving the example, so the example should be directly related. So just a small little tweak, a small little change, but you do need to make sure it's in the context of the question. And this one, it's not 100%. So just make sure you're talking about a country investing more money, and that's why the employment rate came down. 25% is massive. 25% is massive as well. It doesn't need to be absolutely groundbreaking figures. I mean, like 2% sound like something that's realistic. 5% maybe. 25% is an incredibly big number. So maybe just dial it down a little bit with the percentages. You don't even have to give a percentage. You could just say a lot. Money spent. Oh, you got that one already. Yep. Okay, thanks, Gulwant. When do you do live reading module? Never. Never. I'll never do live reading module because I cannot say what you were thinking when you were doing the reading test. So I have a lesson to help you with reading. You'll see it on my what are you on? You're on Facebook. It's on Facebook. You'll find it on my website. I can even share it with you right now if you want. Just give me a moment here and I'll find it for you. Oh, my internet's a bit slow here. I think if you complete this lesson, you'll see why I'm not going to do a live stream for reading. Okay, there's a lesson. It's not because I don't want to help you with reading. It's because you need to go back through the reading test, do a practice reading test, go back through it, figure out what were you doing wrong? What were you thinking when you made those mistakes? Was it because you didn't know a word? Was it because you were trying to go too quickly? Was it because you didn't read carefully enough? Was it, so it's all about figuring out where did you go wrong? What mistake did you make? And taking it from there. So in a live stream, I mean, all I could do is say, why do you get that wrong? And then you tell me and I go, well, that's why you got it wrong. So really, I'd be the middleman between you and you, so it just doesn't make sense to do one. Okay, Kulwan, saw that there already. Arif, I'm not sure why you're saying sorry, but there's no problem anyway. Okay, Jervin, you're on literacy rate. It will improve the literacy rate. When we talk about rates, we like improve a situation, but we'll be more to oh, that's a mistake that I didn't correct. It will increase literacy. You just copied what was on the screen, so I cannot say anything about that. So that was my mistake. So it will increase the literacy rates by giving them, that's not clear who them is, by giving students a good education and a teacher who has a great teaching skill. So okay, so that each student will understand what the teacher is teaching. Okay, so this, again, remember we're talking about more money. So there's going to be something done with this extra money, and that will improve that will improve the situation with literacy, increase literacy rates. But why is it? So you'd have to say something like, at the moment, teachers don't have enough training to teach large groups of students, so the extra money could be spent on better training for teachers. Or it could be, at the moment in my country, class sizes are 40 students per teacher, but the extra money could be used for extra teachers so that there would be fewer students and the teachers would have more time with each student to make sure that they are learning how to read to the required level. So that it's how is the money having an impact? That's what you need to focus on. Hi, Prasanna. Good to see you here. In my opinion, I firmly believe, you don't need to say, in my opinion, I firmly believe. That's too much. So you just go, in my opinion, it will enhance the literacy rate, or I firmly believe that. So one, you don't need to say both. I firmly believe that it will enhance the literacy rate of the nations and would decline unemployment rates. Good. Those ideas are appropriate. Ranjana. Another important aspect of spending more funds on education would be the reduction of unemployment rates. Good. This is to say, although there are a large number of job opportunities in current job markets, skillful employees to recruit to those positions are lacking the demand. So it sounds like, the way you've written it, it sounds like the employees are lacking the demand. And I'm not sure what the demand is. As a result, rates of unemployment of nations increases. If modern education systems can cater for the needs of the job market, unemployment rates can easily be reduced. You know, because again, you need to focus more on the extra money. Where's the extra money going? So you've said extra money will reduce the unemployment rate, and then you've said if people are better educated, they'll be able to get good jobs. I don't see where the extra money is going. So in your explanation, it has to be, how is the extra money being used? So the extra money will mean that there are more people educated to a higher level, and that will attract foreign investment because they need those skilled workers. They need those educated workers. That would be an explanation. But what you're saying, it's just not clear enough, and it's not focusing enough on the extra money being invested in the education system. Okay, where am I? Hey, Stella, good to see you here. I know, yeah. Got 6 minutes. 6 minutes left, Stella. Always good to see you here, though. Fung, do you open writing course? I will. But yeah, I want it to be excellent, and that's going to take time. Like I was saying, with my live streams, I don't want to open up an average. I don't want to have an average live stream or a useless live stream. And the same, I will. But to be very honest, I don't know. It depends when you're doing the test. My concern would be, if you're doing the test soon, you probably don't want to depend on my writing course. It'll be it'll be, I would say, it'll be a few weeks. It'll be a few weeks before I have anything concrete. I have everything together. I know what it will look like. The main focus is going to be just lots and lots of feedback. I want to work. What I want is to have a small number of students work one-on-one with a small number of students and just have lots and lots of feedback. Work very, very closely with a small number of students. I'm not going to have the capacity for a lot of students, but I'm going to continue doing all the free lessons. I'm going to continue with the free group classes, the free live streams and all that. But I will have a writing course, but it's going to be a few weeks. I have a lot of work to do on it. Foong, and good to see you here as well, Foong. Good to see you here as well. Sandeep, investing more money in the education system would reduce unemployment rates. Again, investing more money in the education system would reduce unemployment rates. Good. To elaborate, as every person, including children, will get the chance to study and will be able to get a job in the future. Good. So see what Sandeep has done here. What Sandeep has done is she's talked about there are comparing the situation now to when there's more money. Now, not everybody is studying, but with more money, we'll be able to get more people in the education system. So what Sandeep is saying, in her country, obviously, there are some children who don't go to school. So we'll use the extra money to get them into the school. That makes sense. That's well explained. Shervin, okay. I don't even remember the last comment, but it sounds like everything's good. Okay, I want to get through everybody's. Comments. I want to give everybody feedback, so I'm going to start going a little bit faster. Sandeep, in this way, the difference between rich and poor will improve and will make society a better place to live. No, we don't want to talk about the benefits of reducing unemployment rates. We only want to talk about the benefits of investing more money in education. So the investment, that investment in education is reducing unemployment rates. We've already made that connection. So just talk about those. You don't need to explain why unemployment is good. But no, besides that, it's well developed and it's all within the context and it makes sense. Okay, Sandy, I completely agree with this because it will improve the literacy rate. In most cases, those who are in poverty suffer from illiteracy, and therefore governments need to spend more of their budgets on the education system so that they can become more literate, leading to developing their level of education further. A case in point is that the Korean government has successfully lowered the number of illiterate Koreans by investing more in its education system. Excellent. Everything you need right there. That's you got 2 paragraphs like that, you're looking at a band 8, band 9 for task achievement. That's really solid, Sandy. And what I like with Sandy's answers, it doesn't matter what the situation is. It's always happened in Korea already. And that's what you want to do with your examples. They don't need to be real. You're not expected to know everything about everything. You're just an example that sounds like it's from the real world. And that's what Sandy does. Sandy's always, and exactly that thing happened in Korea. Perfect. I don't know if that's true or not. It doesn't matter if that's true or not. She told me it's true. That's an example of this happening. That's an example. That's all we need. Good job, Sandy. Lida, first of all, governments funding more money on education systems would bring down the unemployment rates. Yes. As more fundings means more developments, students' academic performance will therefore improve as a result of better systems and closer attention. Now, this is good as well. So Lida hasn't said anything specifically like how the education will be better, but she has made the connection between the more money and improvement. So she said there will be this development, closer attention. She's connecting the dots, which is important. Okay, so that's good. This outcome will lead to students becoming more educated, and thus they are capable of finding a job and avoid being unemployed, resulting in lesser number of unemployment. Okay, so you've just gone off track. Everything was looking good until the end, resulting in lower numbers of unemployed individuals. Unemployment is a noun. So number of unemployed individuals in those societies, because again, we're talking about more than one country. No, but that's good. Big B. I subscribe to this because of the literacy rates increased and the unemployment rates lowered. Subscribe doesn't work in this context. Lower unemployment rates, that's better. Yeah, but again, subscribe. Unemployment rates will be decreased, just will decrease, because that's active. It's the rates are coming down. Those are literally the things that are decreasing. So you don't want passive voice here. Unemployment rates will decrease with the help of investment made on education. This is because individuals will have the best quality of education, which will further result into more jobs. Too vague, I'm afraid, Kulwant. Too vague. So you're basically saying this will happen because it will happen. Now, I'm exaggerating. It's not that severe, but essentially that's what you're saying. It will happen because it will happen. It will happen because education will be better. You need to be more specific than that, I'm afraid. Okay. Still one more. Okay. I totally agree that the government should put more income. No income. You don't use more of their income or use more of the taxpayers' money, use more of their budget on their educational system, in a sense that crime rates will decline for the betterment of the country. You need to delete for the betterment of the country there. Now you're putting what am I trying to do? Okay. With the full stops, you're putting my mirror is reversed. My camera is reversed. You're putting a space on the wrong side of the full stops and commas. So the space needs to be on the right, but you're putting it on the left. So no space on the left and a space on the right. So the opposite to what you're doing here. So if you see, like, for the betterment of the country, full stop, space, a lot of individuals. And again, then after youths, comma, space, they. And then after activities, comma, space. So you're putting the spacing of your punctuation is incorrect. A lot of individuals would have qualified in any field. A lot of individuals would be qualified in many fields, whether technical or in any area of highly skilled jobs. And for the youths, they will be occupied with lots of activities that contribute towards. So this, it's a bit scattered, Stella. There's a bit too much going on. I think you would need to plan your answer first. Would make the difference there, because you seem to have quite a few different ideas. It's not very well structured. And I know you just joined. You probably just wrote this quickly just to get a bit of feedback, and I understand that completely. But if you planned it, got your ideas, think about how you're going to explain it and exemplify that, that will make a big difference, because it's a little bit scattered the way it's written there. Okay, Big B, so we saw that already. Samika, yes, please do. I'm not sure what that's about, but if I said I will, then I will. About the course or about the task 1 live stream, perhaps. Canada, for instance, has invested 5% of their total budget on education, and it has boosted the employment rate by there. That's much, 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 much better. Yep, good job. It will improve the literacy rate by giving a high standard of education systems and a prominent teachers. You're using an article with a plural, so you need to watch that. You need to watch that grammar point, Zelathina. Moving forward to better governance, because the majority of people landed a good job. Landed shouldn't be in the past. We're talking hypothetical here. So more people would land good jobs. Land is too informal. Land a job, that's a good phrase to have. It would be great in the speaking test, but not in the writing test, because you need to use formal language. Furthermore, economic growth of the government will be increased. So you just have too many ideas going on here, Zelathina. You need to stay focused on that one idea of literacy. So don't go from literacy rates reduced, that leads to this, then that leads to that, then that leads to that. Just stick with, we're putting more money into the education system, that's reducing literacy rates. Just stay focused on that. No more ideas, don't lead on and on and on. Kamal, please send sample answer. I have not written a sample answer simply because I've written so many of them. But again, let me share. I have 20 sample answers up on my website. I can share those with you. When you sign up for the live feedback lessons, I share sample answers with you there as well. So essays, I'll share these with you here. Come out. There's some sample essays. There's 20 sample essays for you there. You'll just take a look at that link that I just shared. But I mean, you're getting a very good impression of what this sample answer should be. There's like, based on all the answers we've got so far. Good. I use an increased investment in the education systems so you're using an article with a plural. In education systems will produce more educated people who can find work more comfortably than the uneducated individuals. Good. This will lead to greater population getting, no, this will, a greater population, no, this will lead to a higher percentage of the population getting employed, not only the ones going to educational institutes, but also more educators would be hired for teaching. And as more and more populations would be employed, the unemployment rates are bound to go down automatically. Yep, good. Muazzam, it is often held by some people that governments must increase the budget of the education sector. As far as I'm concerned, I totally agree with this opinion, because it would increase productivity and enhance the overall performance of an economy. I don't understand how it would increase productivity, or in where it would. How it would improve the economy, that makes sense to me. The first one, productivity of the students, of the schools, of what, it's not clear what productivity. So it's a bit vague. Even though the idea might be fine, it's not clear. So you'd need to say what exactly. Fakrul, good. I'm glad you're happy. Traveling sir, just want to try and catch you up. Good. Yeah, always happy to see you here, Stella. Arif, watching Pakistan versus Australia match and your class at the same time. Okay. Good. I don't know, is that good? if if we were in a normal classroom, I would tell you to turn off the match. But we're not. So, okay. I wonder which one is more entertaining. Sandeep, no problem. Arif, you're fine. I'm only having a joke with you. Okay. That's it. I've got through everybody's. Before we finish up, I'm always happy to take any questions, if anyone has any questions before we finish up. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to fire them in the comments. If you're not already signed up for my live feedback lessons, I would say you may as well get involved in those. Every week on Zoom, free group classes, my live feedback lessons. Sign up for those. And like I was saying earlier, I have those one-on-one, that one-on-one feedback service for writing and speaking. But like Fung was asking, I don't have a course ready just yet. Definitely plans to put together a course, but I just want to get it all. I want to get it all really, really solid first, and then, like I said, open it for a small number of students. I would say, like, I'm not going to have time for more than like maybe 5 students, maybe 6 students. So it will be a small group, and it'll be one-on-one. So that's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment, but not yet. For reading module, I answered that already, Arif. I'm not sure. Maybe you didn't hear the answer, but you can hear in the replay. But I'm never going to do reading modules, but I have a good reason for that. Basically, because it's something that you have to work on yourself. Vic, you're very welcome. How can I use your newsletter? I'm not sure what you mean, Kamal. Sure, you come to my live feedback lessons every week already. Is that what you mean? Can you clarify that, Kamal? I'm not sure what you mean. Hi, Shad. Oh, the lessons are recorded, so you can still watch the recording. And if you want to put your comments to the tasks that we were doing, if you want to put your answer to the tasks that we're doing in the comments of the recording, I'll have a look for you there, and I'll still be able to help you. So don't feel the fact that you're not live. That doesn't mean that you can't participate or benefit. Stella, yeah, I think it'll just be a first come, first served. I mean, I would absolutely love to work closely with you. But again, I think closer to the time when I'm ready. If I was saying like I'll have the course ready in 2 weeks, I'd be happy to open up membership at that point. But at the moment, I'm not sure, and I don't want to lead anybody astray. I don't want to say like, oh yeah, come and join the course, and then I'm not ready for another 4 or 5 weeks. That I don't think it would be right to do that. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd be delighted to have you there. It would be great for the two of us to work more closely together. Kamal, sorry, no problem. I think I misunderstood something as well. So we're in the same boat. And Princess is here. Good to see you, Princess. Sandy. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see when it happens. But I kind of feel like you're at a point where you're ready to get the scores you need already. So, I mean, in your case, I mean, would I accept you into a course that you don't need? Well, I wouldn't. It's the truth. The idea would be to help people get their scores, not find someone who can already get their scores and put them in the course and have a nice time. Although, sure, it would be great to hang out with you that much, but I think you're pretty much good to go already, Sandy. But thank you for saying so. But yeah, small is the way to go, as far as I can. From my perspective, that's the way I want to approach it. Okay, so it seems like that's it. Some people are leaving already. For any of you still here, please go ahead and share word of complete test success. Any of your friends, any groups you're in, your colleagues, your family members, anyone doing IELTS, send them my way. Get them into these live streams. Get more people involved. So yeah, definitely spread the word. Let people know that I am helping with IELTS scores, and I'll be able to continue helping everyone. Ayush, you're very welcome. And yes, Ayush comes to my live feedback lesson. So Ayush, I will see you there tomorrow, task 2 tomorrow. Okay, for that, that's it, I guess. Everybody, take care of yourselves, and yeah, have a good weekend if I don't see you in the live feedback lesson tomorrow. Bye-bye.